What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 1 of the All Elite Hour. My name is Brian. You can find me at markedoutbt on Twitter and at BT on Instagram. That's 3 E's after the B and 3 E's after the T. I should come up with a little jingle to make that go a little bit smoother. This show is brought to you by the AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group. It is a closed group with a lot of great All Elite Wrestling discussion topics. If you're a fan of AEW, this is the place to be. This is where you find out a lot of news, rumors, headlines to kind of keep you going through the week until that Wednesday when we have Dynamite and Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at SmartMark Show. On Instagram, go fucking type in at Marked Out Wrestling. And you can find us at Marked Out 1 on Facebook. So make sure to go check us out. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Leave a comment. Do anything, really. You can send us a message. If you have any kind of show ideas, criticisms, critiques, whatever you have. If you have a fucking good recipe that you want to share, that's fine too. Joining me on the show today, we've got Kyle and MJ from the AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group. What's going on, gentlemen?
Doing great. How about you, Brian?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, MJ?
Everything is just Ducky, man.
What are you saying? Are you saying just Stucky or just Ducky?
Just Ducky.
I like it.
Just Ducky.
On the show, we're going to give our Being the Elite reactions, thoughts. We're going to talk about the Dark episode from last week and the upcoming matches that they taped last night. We also have our Dynamite review. We're going to get into some headlines, some news. We're also going to take some questions from you guys, from the listeners, from the group. Kyle, where can they send a question for the group?
You can either DM us on Twitter at All Elite Hour or send us an email at allelitehourpodcast@gmail.com.
Please go there, go follow us, and you can send us any kind of messages. Again, send us messages, send us fucking cookie recipes. I don't give a fuck. Just send us something, be involved, get involved. Guys, so let's get into it. Being the Elite. I don't know. I mean, just watching it on the surface, it seemed like there wasn't really all that much to kind of take away. But Kyle, you had mentioned that there were some things, and MJ also, you guys both had some good takeaways from this episode. But let's start it off with, well, you know what? Let's start it off with you, MJ, first. What were your biggest takeaways from this most recent episode of BTE?
Takeaways, not much storyline going on. You know, they're really trying to mix this BTE in with being a promo videos into a vlog, which is awesome. I think it's just sometimes you just don't know what's real and what's not, and that's not a bad thing. As someone trying to watch it, you're trying to comprehend everything, but at a later moment, you'll find out what that means. So either way, it's a takeaway and a give.
Now, you said it's more so like a vlog, and this is one of the criticisms too that I've heard from other AEW fans is that they do a lot of things on Dynamite as far as story-wise, but they also include some things that, like, you know, that they'll tease or talk about on BTE, and it's not necessarily, a lot of the fans don't watch both. You know, they'll watch Dynamite, but then, like, kind of be clueless about some of the things that they're talking about on Dynamite because it happened on BTE. Now, do you think that they're straying away from including storyline stuff on BTE, or do you think they're going to lean more into it and include more storylines on BTE?
They used BTE before, like, when the Elite started, they were using BTE as a promo to get into the promotion, and now that they don't need to do that, I think they are going to the vlogs just to show the backstage, what's going on and everything. They don't need to show you promos anymore because they can do that now.
Right. And now, as far as actually including storyline stuff, Kyle, you had some good tidbits about this most recent episode. Let's hear it.
As far as storyline goes on BTE from this last episode, I noticed they seem to be setting up a Kenny and Rio versus Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford mixed tag match. Now, with Tony Khan saying in interviews that we wouldn't be seeing intergender matches on Dynamite, I believe that this is going to be something they're setting up that'll take place probably on the Jericho cruise. I don't know if we'll see it, if it'll be shown. I'm hoping that maybe we'll see it on the episode of Dynamite that they film on Jericho Cruise, or if it's going to be on like a dark or just something else that they upload for the fans to see. But that seems to be what they're setting up as far as other little small like teases and storyline things. In the private party segment, Hangman's sitting at a bar, and he seems to make a slight tease for Marty again. He says something along the lines of, last year he had a New Year's party, and that seems to be like a Marty tease. Mm. And then the very end of this episode, we saw a Dark Order mask being delivered to someone's front door with a note that says, once you join us, you can't leave, or something along the lines of that.
Right.
And I'm thinking this is Brandon Cutler. That's what it seems to be.
Wasn't he already kind of included in there, or because we've seen him as a creeper, but I guess not officially. Like, we're not supposed to know that was him.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Like, they haven't introduced him
right.
officially, but I mean, it's pretty clear who it was in that one segment.
Any chance that it could potentially be? You know, last week we discussed the idea of potentially a broken Matt Hardy once his contract is up, and it seems like he's going to be, I don't know, it seems like everybody's alluding to the fact that he's going to be ending up in AEW at some point. Do you think that this could be a teaser for potentially him?
Not personally, because I believe he's actually going to be who the Exalted One ends up being.
Okay.
I think he's actually going to be the one leading the whole thing. I think this is just more of a smaller recruit. I think it's going to be Brandon Cutler, or it could be one of the Beaver. I want to say it was Alex Reynolds who threw away his mask, and then I believe in an episode of BT, somebody grabbed it out of the trash.
Yeah, it was a little confusing as far as I saw them throw it in the trash and then someone pick it up, but I mean, last night on Dynamite we saw both of the Beaver Boys with the mask on top of their head so we could see their face, but
I think that if they are going to do more storyline stuff on BT, which I'm okay with, I really enjoy when they build storylines through BT. I just think they should think about adding a quick recap video before Dynamite each week, so people aren't confused and wondering what's going on.
That's smart. I want to get your guys' opinion. Do you think that they should just flat out? Do you think that they should include storylines on Dark, or should they just kind of keep it separate?
Right now, it's kind of hard to interpret what Dark really is. Is it another show? Is it? Are you just pitting people against each other for Dynamite, or is it just something completely different? That's just mine. Is if they should, I think you're right. They should promo stuff for Dark on BTE. I think just because Dark really doesn't really have a storyline-esque show.
Sure.
It's pretty much just wrestling. Because I think the last storyline we got out of Dark was Shawn Spears and Joey Janela. I'm pretty sure that's the last thing we saw as a storyline going.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I would think from it.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? And before we move on, I guess, including Dark and BTE, Kyle, do you think that they should use those as tools to move storylines, or do you think that they should just keep storylines just strictly to Dynamite?
I believe they should use all three of them, but like I said, I think there should be like a quick little recap before Dynamite. If something on Dynamite is going to happen that involves something that happened on BT, show a quick recap,
right?
So people aren't confused. But like I think them using BT and Dark to build storylines would be great, and it's two more options they have when they only have 2 hours on Dynamite.
It's like, why not use these as tools to further storylines?
I mean, it just makes sense for them to use BTE to further storylines because that's what we've known them always to do. That's All In was built throughout the entire thing through BTE.
Before that, BTE was just one big Bullet Club vlog. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah, like just Matt and Nick just kind of traveling around and just kind of killing time. Let's move on. Let's go over the AEW, I don't know why I keep saying AEW, I'm plugging it like a motherfucker. Let's go over the Dark results from last week. Actually, this was an interesting one, and there was a lot of debate about it because there was a match that was promoted that it happened, but it also didn't happen. It was supposed to be P&P against the Gun Club, but that didn't happen. But it kind of happened. Well, the Gun Club wrestled, but they didn't wrestle. Pride and Power.
Yeah, that whole match got changed. I don't know what happened with Proud and Powerful, because I know they were advertised. But that got changed to Sean Spears and Preston Vance versus the Gun Club, and then that match didn't air. And I know I've seen a lot of people wondering why that match didn't air. And now AEW hasn't officially said anything on why that happened. But now Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet tweeted, for those wondering, sources say Billy Gunn's match with his son Austin Gunn taped at Dynamite last week was never intended to be on Dark and was more of a tryout. I'm told the tryout went well, and Austin will team with Billy again tonight for a match that will likely air on Dark next week. And that has truth to it, because we'll talk about all of the matches for Dark next week. But Billy and Austin Gunn do have a match on Dark next week. They did have a match on Dark after Dynamite.
There was an appearance by the Nightmare Collective.
Awesome Kong had a match with Skylar Moore, and I thought this was going to be a complete squash, but she actually got some offense in, and she looked really good. And she had her own music and her own Titan Run video, so I'm thinking maybe they'll sign Skylar Moore. I don't know yet if they have or not.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of feedback online was very positive, and people were wanting to see more of her.
MJ, how did you feel about this episode of Dark?
Yet again, I was when I watched it, I was asking you guys, why is this 30 minutes? I literally watched that Awesome Kong match and looked at the time. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We only have one other match. Is that true? But yeah, that 6-man match, it went long. Very good spots. I just watched it. Really, that thing on my mind is, why is this just 30 minutes? It didn't take away from me being like, oh, I don't like Dark anymore. I just wanted to know why they just cut 30 minutes out. And if it was because of that match, then it was because of that match. I mean, really, if that match didn't air, I don't see why people would be talking about it like that, because we really didn't know if Billy Gunn's son was really signed or not. So maybe it was just a tryout match. And that's why I said I just said Dark could be either, building people up, pitting people against each other for Dynamite, and that's pretty much what I get from Dark every week.
As far as everything else on Dark, the SCU and TH2 and Kip Sabian match, I really enjoyed. There was a lot of really great segments, a lot of really great spots in that match, and what I really enjoyed from it was they further built on the Christopher Daniels. It's kind of not 100% after that botch,
right?
Because he went for the Arabian moonsault, and he hesitated and didn't do it.
Yeah, and they alluded also to it on Dynamite with him and Pentagon, but
yeah.
Pentagon first came out, I was really, really weird. At first I was like, wait, okay, now it makes sense.
Oh, right. Why was he making fun of it? Yeah, right.
It seems that they're going to continue that feud. I wonder if we're going to get another Pentagon and Christopher Daniels match down the line, maybe a Revolution or Dynamite.
It seems that way, because I mean he's got to have some sort of he's got to avenge himself and make everything right. He's got to be able to hit that move in front of Pentagon. I guess that's the big selling point, or hit it on Pentagon.
It seems like Christopher's going to singles run, not doing tag teams, just part of the trio now.
That's fine, as long as he stays with SCU. I don't want to see him stray away. And they teased it on Dynamite as far as him going away from SCU and potentially joining Dark Order. But I mean, the only benefit for that would be seeing another darker version of the Fallen Angel character, which I think that has a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah. That is why I marked out for that moment.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my gosh, he's a Fallen Angel again.
Some interesting stuff with the Christopher Daniels going back to the Fallen Angel gimmick. I don't know where people are getting this. Not to be mean to them about their theories, but there's absolutely no way this is happening.
No.
I've seen some people saying that the Exalted One is Christopher Daniels.
I've heard that too, and I find that very, very, very odd. I don't know why. He's got a good thing going with SCU at this point. I don't know. It's weird. I don't see them ever kind of breaking up. Is that strange to say?
I don't know, guys. I'm going to rewatch TNA footage and see if he ever says he is the Exalted One. If he does, then we can exactly.
Like you said, Dick said you don't want SCU to ever break up. The only way I would be okay with them breaking up, and not necessarily breaking up to the point that they break up and start feuding with each other. I would be okay if Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels did tag teams for a little bit, and let Scorpio Sky have a singles run because
Ooh, I like that.
He is amazing. His little small singles run he had on Dark and against Jericho was really great, and I just wanted to see more of it.
All right, so do you guys have any other thoughts about Dark before we move on?
I'm pretty interested in hearing y'all's thoughts on Dynamite because I know a lot of people had different opinions on last night. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Right. Last night's Dynamite, it was their anniversary show. It was January 8th, 2019, that they announced AEW as an official brand.
Yeah, it was the anniversary of the Jacksonville rally.
And last night, they also included, it was a tribute to the Memphis Wrestling Legend ceremony before the match. Late announcing legend Lance Russell, they acknowledged him. Also, the Rock and Roll Express. They had Jimmy Valiant, Austin Idol, fucking Leaping Lanny was there. He also cut a nice little promo mid-Dynamite. Personally, myself, this is a little bit of an era that I never really dove into as much as I probably should have. MJ, are you a big Memphis wrestling fan at all?
Austin Idol. That's about the name that I really familiarized myself with, just because when I was little, that's what my dad, he was watching Austin Idol. No one else, you know?
Yeah.
Until Steve Austin came on the scene. But
what about you, Kyle?
I didn't watch much of it. I didn't grow up in that era. But as far as the one shown, I really liked the Rock and Roll Express. I don't think that they showed them. What was weird about this was that they built this up that they were going to do this on the show.
Right.
They actually had Legends of Memphis Wrestling tribute on Dark. They had that before the show. Brian Christopher was on there. People know him as Grandmaster Sexay from WWE. Yeah, those are the only ones I was really too familiar with.
Yeah.
They wanted to have Jerry Lawler. He's obviously a legend in Memphis wrestling, but obviously he couldn't be there.
Right. Well, I mean, look at NWA. At least they had the Rock and Roll Express on Dynamite, and they don't give a fuck that they're showing up on Power, and they're doing both things. So that's kind of cool. Good on them.
Which plays more into the theory that people think that NWA and AEW is going to work together.
It's true.
It's down because the Into the Fire promo, Nick Aldis they pushed Cody footage all over that.
Some of the matches that we had on Dynamite, we had Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defeating Private Party, which was a good match. We had some friction built up again between Hangman and Kenny Omega, but ultimately they were able to overcome their going at odds against one another. We'll start off with you, MJ. What were your thoughts on this whole match?
Brian, I'm scared.
You're scared?
I'm looking at my notes here. I'm very scared.
Why?
Back in WCW, they had Scott Hall with the alcoholic storyline, and I wasn't very much a fan just because they didn't implement it as well as they should, and I'm afraid that they're going to do it for Hangman. I'm afraid that they're going to say that he's been drinking during matches, that's why he's messing up and everything. That's pretty much my thoughts on it. As for the Kenny spot where he flipped one of the Private Party over and it kicked him, I think that was just a little... That was they're evening it out so they don't show that that's a storyline that they're going to.
Okay.
But I'm very afraid.
You're very afraid. I like it. All right, that's interesting. Kyle, what about you?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a fun way to open the show. And like you said, all the tension being built between Kenny and Hangman, it seemed to be like a slow burn. At first, I thought that maybe we're going to end up getting a Kenny and Pac match at Revolution. Now, with all this happening, I got to say, I wouldn't mind seeing Kenny and Hangman face off at Revolution if this just leads to them breaking up their tag team.
Right.
I forgot about that spot, that Pac spot. I think him doing that to Michael Nakazawa, that was kind of strange because Kenny and Nakazawa, but as in, I don't know, it's just, he said rubber match. Is he citing Hangman for that, or is he citing Kenny? Kenny, okay. Then that makes more sense then. Okay.
But as far as the rest of the match, though, a really fun match. I like the tension, the slow burn being built between Hangman and Kenny. There was quite a few spots in there that further built on there. There was one spot where Hangman almost buckshot lariat Kenny again, but they stopped. And then there was another one where Kenny almost hit Hangman. And what I really liked was toward the end where Kenny got so frustrated he told Hangman to back off, he's got it, and then he won Wing Angel and got the win. That was pretty interesting how they did that.
I mean, at this point, it just seems like it's just a matter of time when things are going to just kind of implode between the two of them. So I do think that you're right as far as having a match at Revolution. That sounds about right on track.
this is going to lead to Kenny versus Hangman at some point.
I want to go back to Kyle's point about, for Dark, you would have to watch Dark, where they show his name, why it says it up there, that he owes Private Party $12. You would need to watch Dark in order to know why that says that.
It would be a BT.
No, BT.
Right,
it was
right.
BT. Yeah. My bad. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that's another thing I thought about. Kyle said that earlier. I was like, yeah, in order to know what that means and why that says that, you would have to watch one of those
Right.
shows.
And that goes back to just the point. Like, it's polarizing. It seems like it's either there's a lot of people that are on board that they enjoy the fact that they're furthering storylines outside of Dynamite, but then there's also a whole crew of people that also they just believe that everything should just be on Dynamite. This is what I'm watching. Stories should just be built on this show, not outside of it. But me personally, I'm with you guys. I think that it should be, if there's other tools, social media, YouTube, whatever, to further your character, your storyline, I feel like, why wouldn't you take advantage of it?
Also, I think Private Party should have went over. It goes back to the tournament when they beat the Bucks. I was like, what are you guys going to do with them after? And they really are doing nothing after they beat the Bucks. I just feel like they should have beat Kenny and Hangman to really implement themselves. Yeah, we beat the Bucks and we beat the other half of the Elite, so we're a good tag team.
I thought Private Party was going to get the win too. I think it would have been a better way to further this Kenny Hangman tension.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really liked the way they ended the match with Kenny getting frustrated and just pushing Hangman out of the way and doing it himself. After the closing, after Kenny ran off after Michael Nakazawa, I don't know how much of this was shown on Dynamite because I watched the fight version. Did y'all see Hangman drink 3 beers from the fans?
We saw before they cut the commercial, they saw him grab the fans' drink and sip it a couple times.
Yeah, he drank 3 beers from fans. And there was a guy that had a sign that said "Hangman, drink my beer."
Oh, and, that's great.
He walked out into the crowd and got the guy's beer and drunk it.
Yeah, I'm afraid, gentlemen.
But like what MJ was saying with him being afraid for this storyline, I have seen some backlash online from people saying that they don't like how that they're promoting like an alcoholic storyline,
right?
And it could be a bad look.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see their argument with it, but also, I mean, AEW as a whole, it seems like it's more of a mature wrestling program, What the fuck what about Jericho though? He's popping bubbly, right? I mean, that's booze too. I mean, no one complains about that.
No, man. Champagne.
Let's move on to the women's match.
Yes, we had Riho finally facing off against Chris Statlander. There was a bunch of kerfuffle going on after the match. Well, I'm sorry, during the match it happened.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was that.
Yeah, let's kick it off with you, Kyle. Let's hear your thoughts about this match and I guess everything that happened during and after.
Yeah. Okay, well, see, obviously this is like probably the most controversial part of the whole episode. I've been pretty open. Everybody who knows me well knows I'm pretty open about it. I don't really care for the Nightmare Collective. But with that being said, I didn't think this segment was that bad. I don't understand. I have seen so much backlash online of people saying that they turned off the show after this segment, that it just completely ruined the show. And people saying that they're going to tune in and watch NXT next week because of this. I didn't really see it that bad, simply because they still had the match. It's not like they came in to interrupt the match and the match ended in a DQ. The match still ended, and there was a lot of stuff built in this that I don't think people realized. You've got Chris still being protected. She wasn't beat clean by Rio because she had help from Awesome Kong, even if she didn't want it. It showed that Rio didn't want the help, and she would fall back after Nightmare Collective. You have Sheeta and Big Swole, and then Sunny Kiss helping out Rio and Chris against Nightmare Collective. So obviously there's lines being drawn in the sand between in the women's division in who's on whose side. And then the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, did y'all notice Britt Baker sat down and didn't help?
Yeah.
They're furthering more of what's going on with Britt, and like I said last week, I think we're getting a Britt Baker heel turn.
Do you think that she's going to join eventually the Nightmare Collective?
Honestly, I think it may lead to that.
Could be.
But like, I didn't see it being that bad of a segment. I saw a lot of story being built, and people have been wanting storylines and stuff being built in the women's division, and this is what this is. And this could be a bad take, and I feel like WWE may have ruined people on long-term storytelling. Like, people are wanting stuff now.
That's true.
And they're not wanting to wait and see it built. I'm still in this and still letting it play out for what it is, because I think there's a bigger picture here that we're not seeing. But as far as the match itself, though, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I understand why people are mad about it, because I was enjoying the match and did just want it to be a one-on-one match. And from what little we saw of it, you can tell these two are going to have a great match at some point.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't get the back. I understand the backlash, but personally, I enjoyed it.
It just, I just feel like it took, like, the whole thing kind of just took a while to happen.
Yeah.
Like, during the match too, I was like, wait a second, where's the referee? Like, what is it?
You're talking about how the ref was over there on the side helping Rio,
just checking on Rio,
and
right?
He disappeared for like, how long was this guy over here?
That's what I thought. Brandy told him to just. That's what I was getting from, is that Brandy was like, just keep on being a ref. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
But the only thing I really didn't understand, like, why they added it. Well, I guess I understand why they added it, because you've got to have some. You can't just show these videos with no payoff. I don't like that they brought in, for those who don't know, the bald guy under the ring, that's Dr. Luther. He's a Japanese deathmatch legend, but I don't understand. Like, I think that might have been, there could have been a better way of debuting him as the Nightmare Collective, but I understand, like, why they brought him out to show that he is part of it. I mean,
honestly, I don't think he should be a Nightmare Collective. I think it should be another woman. I mean, that makes it. Why would you put this big, death legend into this full girl group that is going after female wrestlers?
Well, not only female wrestlers, but female wrestlers with fucking hair. He doesn't have any hair. And I guess we're supposed to assume that he, it was already shaved off at some point. So I guess Kong has a bunch of his hair on her belt. I don't know, but either way, I'm with you. I think it was a little strange to introduce him that way, because not a lot of the crowd really, and it's not a slight against him, just not a lot of the crowd really knows. Didn't seem like they were very familiar with who he was.
Caliber was like, that's Luther. And then, at least 4 minutes later, he was like, yeah, that's got to be Luther.
Yeah, saying his name a billion times, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that on commentary. Excalibur, like, it seems like every time someone new debuts Excalibur, instantly, like, screams out that person's name.
Yeah.
I think they need to do better at that. Like, I don't know, would y'all say Excalibur needs to just not say the person's name and be left wondering who it is for them to show us next week who it is? Or are y'all okay with Excalibur saying his name and knowing who it is?
It was awkward for him to say it, because obviously no one else knew. I think that's just what it was, is that when he said it the first time, I feel like he heard the crowd's reaction, so he didn't want to say it again to make it look like he was pushing his name out there. But you're right, they need to wait and just say, who's that? Then next week, either Brandy or someone can say, this is Luther and everything, and this is why he's here.
Either way, cool segment. A lot of, and I think JR, I forget when he said it. I don't think it was after this segment. I think it was after one that came further, but he was like, a lot of recruiting going on around here. So, something like that. Just alluding to the fact that there's a lot of, there's a lot of factions. There's a lot of people trying to pull people towards their group, including the next match, which we had Sammy Guevara against Christopher Daniels. He defeated Christopher Daniels. It was a solid match, but really the big thing at the end, or I guess during the match, was when Pentagon coming out and telling Daniels that he couldn't hit the move. It kind of caused a distraction. Then afterwards, we had the Dark Order showing up and trying to recruit Christopher Daniels, with Evil Uno cutting a promo, walking to the ring, saying that he could make Daniels the man that he once was. This is the second of the recruiting. We had 3 recruiting segments. This was the second one.
Yeah.
But with Daniels refusing, and then we had SCU and the Bucks running in to make the save. Cool segment. We'll start it off with you, Kyle. What were your thoughts on it?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is another controversial part of the episode. I saw a lot of people trash this online and are absolutely against it. I don't understand, because this made sense with everything the Dark Order's been doing. And what I liked about it was they didn't interrupt the match. The match still finished, and they did this segment after the match, which is what which is what I'm okay with. I'm okay with them coming out and doing this as long as it's after the match and they don't just ruin the match. For a second, I thought Christopher Daniels was going to join, but I was glad that he didn't, and it was really awesome seeing the Elite and SCU take out Dark Order. I know a lot of people had criticism about a couple weeks ago when the Dark Order stood tall over the Elite. What a good takeaway from this was Daniels hit the Arabian Moonsault.
That's right.
And so it showed that he's getting his stuff, that he's getting his confidence back.
Right, his mojo.
And it's not affecting him as much now.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, I think this will lead to, I think we'll eventually get a Pentagon and Daniels match, and he'll finally hit it.
Do you guys think that, though, we're still going to get Christopher Daniels trying to be recruited by the Dark Order, or do you think that that was just kind of the end of it, and they'll move on?
I think that was the payoff, because Evil Uno said, "You made the wrong choice, Chris," and then they started beating him down. I think that was the payoff, because with the Nightmare Collective, you noticed that they're not going after Chris anymore after she turned them down. We didn't talk about. Do y'all think that Nightmare Collective was recruiting Rio? That's what it seemed like they were doing, because it seemed like Kong was trying to help her retain the title.
Oh, that's true.
It seems like they beat her up after too when she got on Awesome Kong. So maybe they're trying to make an innocent girl into an evil girl. Maybe one of those kind of things. And
maybe they're not recruiting her. Maybe what they're doing is they know Rio's small, and this is going to lead to Awesome Kong facing Rio, and Kong knows that she can absolutely destroy Rio. And maybe they see it as keeping the belt on the smaller girl so that it's easy for them to get the belt.
All right, moving it along. Next match, we had the Rhodes Brothers against the Lucha Brothers. Post-match, we had Tony Schiavone. He tried to interview Cody, just asking him about the questions that MJF and his proposed stipulations at Revolution, and we didn't even get to hear Cody talk. We had big old Arn Anderson, his offensive coordinator, basically. I think that's unofficially what he is now, saying that he and Cody are going to talk about it this week and get back to them, furthering the whole question of whether or not Cody is going to answer to these stipulations. I don't know. Me personally, I just think that I don't know. We already had to wait another week for the Moxley decision, and now Cody says this Arn says the same thing. Now he's just pushing it off another week. Personally, I just wish, and it's just me being I guess, selfish. I just want to see it happen. I want to see Cody just say yes and advance this already, but we're going to have to wait another week. But let's start it off with you guys. Let's see, MJ, any big takeaways from this?
It should have been the main event.
That's a good point. I can see that doing that, yeah.
I feel like it should have been placed in the place that it was. I feel like that spot should have went to the the Jurassic Express versus, that match. I feel like that should have been, how about this? It should have been the pre-main event to Moxley doing that to Jericho. How about that?
I could see that.
Either way, good match. I understand what they're doing with Arn Anderson. They're actually making him be a coach,
right,
other than actually just walking out there with Cody and just watching. And it's really weird for me too, is that back to last week too, Arn Anderson almost got involved in that Cody match with Darby Allin. And that's really making me think, is Cody going to go the heel route? And, not heel, I guess neutral route, as in he can still do heel things and still get cheered on. Right. But that's what I got from this week.
All right. Kyle, you got anything to say?
This was easily match of the night for me.
Yeah.
I want to see Cody and Dustin team up more. They are a great tag team. Always put on a hell of a match together. And it still blows my mind how great Dustin is in the ring. The guy's 50 years old and is easily putting on some of the best matches in his career.
Yeah.
It was odd that they had them beat the Lucha Bros, but honestly, I wouldn't mind them being added to the tag division and being put in the rankings in contention for the titles, honestly.
Yeah, if Cody can't go after the main belt, then why not have him go after the tag? I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. After this match, the ending segment, I'm on board with you, Brian. I don't think it's right with them making us wait another week. I understand that they're doing this to get people to tune in again next week to find out. They need to stop the whole telling people, okay, you're going to find out on this show.
Yeah.
Only to be like, okay, no, it's next week.
Yep.
It was hilarious. MJF, the stuff he was saying was hilarious. The kid's 23 years old. He's easily one of the best parts of the show. after this match, what y'all think of the? I don't know if y'all noticed whenever DDP came out,
Mm-hmm.
when MJF was on his phone, he live tweeted.
Oh, was he really?
Phone. Yeah, he literally tweeted out. I think he tweeted out something to the likes of "Can this old fart shut up?" or something like that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, he literally live tweeted. Like I got the tweet notification while he was on his phone. I was like, oh my God, he's live tweeting. This is great.
Oh, that's. I mean, you mentioned it. Let's talk about it. The whole DDP segment. DDP coming out during the MJF promo, and we got a little bit of the Butcher, the Bunny, and the Blade coming out, setting up their match next week.
Yeah, Butcher. Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. Yeah.
It's cool seeing DDP out there. It's just to me, it's just like they have a lot of other guys on the roster that they're trying to establish. So having him come out, I don't know, a little weird. What about you guys? Do you have anything to say about this one?
I don't know if it was a right call to have DDP, Diamond Cutter, the Butcher, and the Blade, then get taken out by MJF. Because, Butcher and Blade are a relatively new tag team to AEW, and then you basically just did, you hate to say it, but you basically just went the WWE route and had, and had an old legend take out your new talent. Besides all that, though, I enjoyed the segment for what it was, and I mean, come on, everybody has to be excited. DD fucking P is returning to the ring next week.
Pretty cool. Still pretty cool, yeah.
This is my thing. This is my opinion on the whole thing. It makes sense because DDP came out when MJF won that ring. When it came out that time, then him coming out last night would be, why does that happen? I understand why he did those diamond cutters, is because you don't want this old guy to get bumped. You know, you got a bunch of these big, huge guys in there. You don't want one of them to accidentally hurt him. But yeah, you're right. Him doing a diamond cutter as a Butcher and Blade was a bad move. He could have done something else. Could have came out there with a chair. You know, them setting him up for this tag team match, it's good because it's not a singles match. It's actually a tag team match where you just tag him in, have him do a spot, and get out.
Having DDP return for a tag match is the right call because he can look good and he can get out when he needs to get out. And so it won't just be a one-on-one to where if he is rusty in the ring and we won't be able to see it that much.
Sure.
Dallas Page did join wrestling at a very late age. 37, 38, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
So to me, it's really that, who cares, because he was already doing this stuff way past when he was physically supposed to do it. So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
What y'all think of what MJF said about DDP's daughter?
He wanted to bang DDP's daughters.
He said, "I'll take one of your diamond daughters."
Jesus, they keep having MJF go out there and do promos, and he's fucking amazing at it. It's just I just want to see him get his ass kicked now, and it's fucking working what they're doing because I'm even frustrated myself. I want to see him get the shit that's coming to him, but.
We'll probably get that at Revolution.
Exactly.
I fully expect Cody to beat his ass.
Yeah.
And I think that match is gonna end up being for the Dynamite Diamond Ring as well.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Ooh.
We had Jurassic Express, and they defeated the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy. Now, can I just ask you guys, at some point, is Orange Cassidy going to be included in Best Friends? Like, can they just include him in this and just make it like an official?
Well, yeah. I'm wondering if I think he is part of Best Friends, but I think they're just calling him Best Friends of Orange Cassidy. I wish they would just call him. Honestly, I wish they could use what they used when they were a trio that they used to be called the Gentlemen's Club.
Oh, that's good.
That's who they used to be when they were a trio team.
Right.
I don't really know the reason why they can't use that, but
yeah.
But as far as like Best Friends of Orange Cassidy, though, I like when they team up. And as far as this match goes, I really liked that they gave Orange Cassidy spots to show that, because like a lot of people think he's just a comedy wrestler and that he can't actually do anything, which is entirely wrong. You can go watch his matches and I think it's in Beyond with, it was either Beyond or Bar Wrestling with David Starr, and then there's a match with Kylie Ray that really shows that he can go in the ring whenever he wants to. he had a lot of great spots in here and was able to show off some. But my biggest thing in this match, besides seeing Luchasaurus get some great spots in, how much support Marco's stunt had and how great they made him look in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
I think that they used Marco perfectly in this match, and you can tell the crowd. I mean, it was his hometown, but you can tell that I think due to that Road to Memphis video and the backstory on Marco joining Express, I think a lot more people have started to support and get behind him.
For sure. Yeah, no, those are great points. And then they also set up Jurassic Express. It's going to be them against Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz in 2 weeks. That will be fucking amazing. Are either of you guys going on the cruise?
I would. I'm insane. I have some friends going. I am insanely jealous of everybody that gets to go.
Should have asked you 2 years ago. I went 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
I am. Oh, wow.
No way.
Fuck you, DJ.
Oh, no. Fuck my fucking bank account, dude. Man.
I am 100. I'm making sure that if after this cruise, if they announce the cruise for next year, which I'm pretty sure they will, I'm 100% going. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to go. That just seems like an absolute amazing experience, and I really don't give a shit how much money it costs. What's great about the cruise is that they actually have an option to where they let you pay monthly payments when you can pay it out throughout the year. And it's honestly not as expensive as people think it is. If you get a couple of friends, you can get away with maybe $1,000 or so.
Dang.
And that the food is I'm telling you. No Omaha steaks though. Didn't see those.
Fuck it. I'm not going then. No Omaha steak, no way.
But as far as the match though, I thought it was really great, and I was happy to see Jurassic Express main event and get the win. I think this is their first trios win, if I'm not mistaken, or it may have been their. I think they may have gotten a win on Dark, maybe as the trios, but I want to say this is their first trio wins on Dynamite, which is huge for them. I love the record's reset, and so now they have a good start to the new year. What really absolutely sold this show for me was this ending segment. Mox joining the inner circle.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, kinda.
Yeah. Wink. When he came out and he came out walking down the stairs and he had the vest on, I was like, "Wow, what has he got under there? Is it the IWGP United States Championship? Are they about to show that?" And then when then when he said yes and unzipped it and showed the inner circle shirt, I was like, "What?" I honestly thought, when he started getting on the mic and started talking about inner circle and how they're the most dominant force, I didn't see anything going past. I didn't see a swerve coming because you didn't understand he was going to swerve until you saw him wink in the camera. But I thought, whoa, holy shit, Mox is part of Inner Circle. I was like, I don't know if I'm a fan of this, but I'm interested in seeing where this goes. But
they didn't give it away that it was a work because of when he asked for hey, what about those keys? I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
And he talked about his 2015 Dodge. I was like, oh dude, he's gonna mess them up with this car. I know it.
But that last part, I was almost in the floor rolling whenever Mox goes, hey Jericho, cut the music. Hey man, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I would never join I would never join the inner circle. It's a stupid group. You don't have anything I want. He smashes them over the head with a little bit of the bubbly, and then he a paradigm shifts everybody in inner circle.
It was so good. Yeah, no, it was. The segment went a lot longer than I thought it would, and I don't want to say that it dragged because it definitely didn't. It was just. Yeah, there was a lot to take in, and they really sold the fact that they were saying that Moxley was going to be joining the Inner Circle, and he did a really good job of selling the whole thing, too. I'm glad that he's not part of it. We talked about it last week, but I think that he should just be doing his own thing. There's already, between Jericho, Hager, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. It doesn't really fit him, so I'm glad that, the whole thing, I think it played off well. It seemed like the crowd was also into it too. They were all fired up too at the end. So, and we also got we got to see some Jake Hager. We saw him. He was all fucking pissed off too. We haven't really seen too much emotion from him, but you could see when, in the ring, there's fucking champagne everywhere. Jericho's all huddled over, and we see Hager he was fucking just blood red. It was awesome.
Hager took a paradigm shift, so he took a bump.
That's right. Another good point.
It shows me that Hager can take bumps. I just wonder when we're going to see him in the ring. But as far as that segment, it was really great. The thing, though, that I didn't see many people talking about that is huge, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they said Tokyo Dome on commentary.
Yes. And
in the ring, Jericho mentioned Tokyo Dome and Wrestle Kingdom.
We both got wings.
Both
at Wrestle Kingdom. Listen to this, Kyle. You know what I was waiting for? And Brian, you know what I was waiting for? Tanahashi to come out, man. I thought someone debut. I thought because when that fan was talking to Jericho and then Mox said, "You got a problem with him, you got a problem with me," and I was like, okay, Mox is really in this. Who's going to come out? That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Like, who is going to make it seem like Moxley's decision is nothing now that this guy came out? But yeah, I was waiting for Tanahashi or New Japan something to come out. That's what I was thinking of.
That would be great.
Yeah, but with them mentioning that, this has to add more to the feel that there's going to be a partnership soon, because before Wrestle Kingdom, AEW made no mention of them going to Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom, nothing, no New Japan mention whatsoever. At Wrestle Kingdom, which we can lead to this, John Moxley retained. John Moxley won the IWGP United States Championship from Lance Archer, and he retained it against Juice Robinson. And Chris Jericho defeated Tanahashi, which is supposed to shut the forbidden door on the New Japan partnership. Now, during the Jericho match at Wrestle Kingdom, they showed the championship was there. They showed it. The ref showed it to the crowd. Commentary openly talked about AEW. They introduced him as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And now, on Dynamite, right after Wrestle Kingdom, we have commentary and Jericho saying Tokyo Dome and Wrestle Kingdom. There has to be something to this. I don't think Tony would allow them to say that on commentary if there wasn't more to this.
I think New Japan wants AEW for their American supporters. I think that's what Cody means by they're doing stuff on their end, we're doing stuff on our end. Because they're, over anything, there's only two belts that is being, shown between these two companies. That's the U.S. and New Japan, and then the AEW. So I think they're going to use AEW for their American tours. That's my theory.
I would be okay with that with John Moxley.
Because that doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be working with New Japan. It just means a part of New Japan.
Well, to play into that, in a recent interview with New York Post, Cody was interviewed about a New Japan partnership, and he said it's something in the next year that we will hopefully all explore. We'll explore on our end, and they'll explore on their end, and we'll see if it works. So nobody is completely shutting it down.
Right.
It seems like both sides are getting closer to it seems like both sides are kind of putting their foot in the water and seeing what happens.
Well,
and just making little teases and seeing what happens. Another point is when at Wrestle Kingdom, when the refs showed the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to the crowd, there was a huge pop.
And especially also having Jericho said post-match that he believes that it should be open, which, I mean, it's a little contradictory because he's the one that just shut it, even though I know, obviously, he wants to win the match. That's the basic logic of wrestling. But still, I thought it was a little weird him saying that, but it's still cool to have him just out there, with the AEW title and just saying that both companies need to work together. And I think ultimately they both do want to work together. I think they're just trying to figure out what works best, for both companies. I think the ROH partnership with New Japan is what's getting in the way right now.
Yeah.
I think once that's out of the way, if it does end, then we'll immediately see AEW and New Japan working together. I think that's what's holding it back. But like you said in the post match interview at Wrestle Kingdom, Jericho saying that he wants both sides to work together. He said that he's a good businessman and he knows that it's good business. Both companies can make great money. And like you said, he shut the forbidden door, but it doesn't have to be shut.
Right.
He said he will give Tanahashi and anybody else in New Japan a shot at that title anytime. They had Jericho tap out Tanahashi.
That's a big deal.
That blew my mind. Yeah.
Very big.
Sure.
Jericho's last one was the IC title there.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
And now Jericho, he's pretty much he's done with his dates as of now, right? There's nothing announced for Jericho.
I think he still has dates.
I think he still has some dates,
but nothing announced. Yeah, okay.
Jericho said on his post-show interview that as far as New Japan, he don't know when he'll be back, but he's fairly certain he'll be on the next Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. So he's not done. They just haven't announced anything.
Yeah. I really don't know who he would face next. I think going by what's happened in the past, I think we'll see something maybe at Dominion that'll tease Jericho's next opponent. I'm really not sure who he would go after.
Right.
Who would y'all want him to go?
Now this is listen, he's not feuded with one group yet. Well, he kind of did, but he didn't. He's feuded with Chaos. He's feuded with LIJ, but he hasn't really touched Bull Club. The last Bull Club he touched was Kenny, and that was when the Elite was kind of going. So I feel like Jericho and Jay White. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Mm.
I wouldn't mind Jericho coming in and starting a feud with Jay White, and maybe there be something that leads to Jericho possibly trying to take over Bullet Club.
That's interesting. Maybe that's why they're kind of avoiding having them even being the same story, just because they want to save it for a potential. If they wait to do that for AEW New Japan kind of cross promoted whatever, I think that would that would be a game changer right there.
Yeah. But as far as the rest of the New Japan stuff was, so we saw Mox walk out with the IWGP United States Championship, and immediately after he retained against Juice, Suzuki came out.
Hell yes. And
just destroyed Mox. So we're finally getting the dream match of Mox versus Suzuki. I'm freaking stoked for that. I think it's going to happen at New Beginning. I can't remember which one. One of the New Beginning shows that match is happening for the IWGP United States Championship.
Over here, right? Is it over here or is it? No,
it's in Japan.
It's gonna be in Japan. Okay.
Yeah. I don't see Suzuki winning. I think Mox is still going to hold on to it. I think New Japan has big plans for Mox.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be a great match, and it's something I've wanted ever since I saw Mox show up in New Japan. I was immediately like, okay, give me Mox and Suzuki now.
I think Mox forefront of the New Japan US. I think that's what that whole tie-ins are going to be.
Probably.
It could be. But
like title and he gained it again 2 times. Weird.
Yeah. But as far as that though, that's pretty much all on New Japan. Let's those were two of the really those were really big points of the news. Last night though, Wrestling Observer announced that Austin Gunn did sign with AEW. So for those that don't know, Austin Gunn is Billy Gunn's son. He is officially signed with AEW now.
All right, so I guess that match did pay off for him last week.
Before we get into our mailbag section, during Dynamite, we had 3 matches announced for next week. For those that don't know, next week is Bash at the Beach. I completely lost my mind when this was announced because I think this is going to be a damn match of the night, probably. Pac versus Darby Allin. Woo! What the fuck? That's going to be insane.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and then we got MJF, the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny versus Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall, and DDP, which is going to be great. And then what I like about this, like what I said, the women's segment set up more feud. Chris Statlander is going to team up with Sheeta, and they're going to face Awesome Kong and Mel with Brandy Rhodes. And so far, that's all that's been teased for next week. After the matches you can look forward to for Dark next week, I won't give away the results. Nyla Rose is facing Shayna, which is cool. We're getting more of that feud built in, which I'm excited about.
Hell yeah!
Brandon Cutler is facing Darby Allin. That should be a great match.
That should be fun.
And then Sean Spears and Peter Avalon are facing the Gun Club, which is Austin and Billy Gunn.
Very cool. All right, so we're going to answer some questions from some of the listeners or from some of the people on Twitter, on our Facebook group. Again, Twitter is at All Elite Hour. And again, the Facebook group is AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion. So let's start it off with you, Kyle, first. This question comes to you. This is from Jimmy Havoc Staple Gun. And their question is, what are your thoughts about having an hardcore division in AEW?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Havoc Staple Gun. Thanks for the question. And for those that don't know, Jimmy Havoc Staple Gun is part of the IWB, which is the Inanimate Wrestling Brigade. They're on Twitter. There's a whole group of them. There's Jimmy Havoc Staple Gun, MJF's scarf, Orange Cassidy's glasses, and just stuff like that. They're a great group of people. You can find them on Twitter and on the AW Discord. They have their own group on Discord. You can just search IWD. But as far as the question, I think it'd be great to have a hardcore division because we got Jon Moxley, we got Darby Allin, we got Jimmy Havoc, we got Joey Janela, and then I don't know how many people are familiar with it. Pentagon Jr. has done hardcore matches.
Yep.
So you got Pentagon, and I'm sure there's a couple other people on the roster that could do really great in hardcore matches. I think I don't know if I'd want so much a hardcore title, but as far as like a division to where maybe like every pay-per-view or so we have like a lights out hardcore match for these people, I think it'd be great. I'd like to see it. I've been enjoying all the lights out matches.
Yeah, right. I mean, fuck, you could have a dream match, right? Jimmy Havoc versus Dr. Luther. I don't know if that's happened before, but it should happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or personally, I absolutely can't wait for Jon Moxley versus Jimmy Havoc. I think that is going to be fucking insane.
All right, that was a good question and a solid answer. Thank you for your input, Kyle. And then the next one comes from let's see. This question comes from Kyle. He says, when do you think they'll bring in an actual mid-card title, if at all? And this one goes to you, MJ.
I'm really hoping that Ring is not, made as a mid-card because they did that Battle Royal and all of a sudden it's not mentioned again. So I'm really hoping that that's not what it is. They have a really good mid-card division. I think they should have a mid-card title. Either it's television, a European title, I don't know, something like that. But right now it's kind of on the brinks because I don't really see any mid-card matches happening. I just see tag team, who's ever going to get the world title, but it'd be really great to have one. To answer the question, if there were one, I would pick Sean Spears to hold that title.
Yeah.
I totally being behind him with the title over Tully's arm and Sean carrying the chair out, and he actually had some backing on why his nickname is the chairman. I know why it is, but it gives more oomph to his character. I think that they need to do that with Sean Spears. Get him a mid-card title, put that on him, have him show up.
Right.
I think that's a good idea as well. Like I said before, I do think the Dynamite Diamond Ring is going to end up being some sort of mid-card title or something for people to go after. As far as mid-card titles, though, what I saw this idea, and I've always been completely behind this idea ever since I saw it. I think it'd be great if they introduced like a United States Championship and they called it the American Dream Championship.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice, not dusty, of course.
But I think that would be great. And like I said, but like what MJ said, I think Sean Spears would be a great first champion.
Yeah.
If they don't give him a world title shot, I would love to see Darby Allin hold it.
Ooh,
but more than anything, I want Darby to hold the world championship. I think he absolutely deserves it.
I think that would be he would be an interesting fit for that. But that'd be fucking cool. Yeah, I'm into that. And then finally, this question comes from Jermaine. And I'll answer this one. He said, with John Morrison, Scott Steiner, Big Show, Marty Scurll making shocking appearances recently, who is likely to turn up unexpectedly in AEW? My answer, he's been doing some fucking great things across the pond. None other than Jay White.
Oh, wow.
The Switch.
Oh, wow.
And I mean...
Hey, now.
What?
Hey, now.
What are you going to say?
Anyone that's in this group knows that, and no AEW.
No? Come on, man. I mean, they're going to be working with New Japan. If they're going to be working with New Japan, they're going to be working with Jay White. Unless he goes to, like, NXT or... But that's a nightmare we don't want to talk about.
MJ wants Jay White in WWE. That's what it is.
Does he really?
Oh, no. This is exactly where I want Jay White. I want him to hold both of those titles. I want him to be the man. Here, just to give a little insight of why I don't want him in there.
Yeah.
He would not be a good Americanized wrestler. I feel like I don't think so. I don't think that he'd be good. I mean, he was an ROH. He's had matches with more than half of the AEW roster.
Right.
But it's still the same. I think that he should still be a foreigner in another foreign wrestling promotion because that's just, he works it so well.
Well, what about you could do a little crossover and he could do like the New Japan United States stuff? What about that?
That'd be good, but I want him to be the world champion.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Kyle, what were you going to say?
As far as who I think would likely to turn up unexpectedly in AEW,
sure.
I think without a doubt we're going to get Brody Lee.
Yeah.
And to play into that, I don't know if people saw it. There was a picture on Twitter recently of a worker at Arena who posted a picture saying that there was an ad for an upcoming wrestling night for two AEWs for people to meet two AEW superstars. I forgot who the first one was, but the other one was Brody Lee. But he was being advertised as Luke Harper, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, a little weird.
Goes. Yeah, but I mean that's kind of interesting. But I do think we're gonna get Brody Lee. I think Matt Hardy is for sure going to come.
I'll add Ryback to that. I will add Ryback to that.
Oh, Ryback? Okay.
Just because he knows a lot of people would really, back in that locker room, would really understand, from the stories he's told about the other promotion. Other people had those similar stuff. So I think that he'd be really good back in that locker room. They need big guys. He's the biggest guy they're ever going to have.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's a good point.
I could see Brian Cage coming just because he's having a match with Kenny.
Are they really?
Yeah, he posted a picture of during the last AAA show. Brian Cage posted a picture on Twitter of him and Kenny, and he tweeted something about the long lines of give me this match. And,
oh wow!
And Kenny tweeted back and told him anytime.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's teeth for there's teeth for Brian Cage. As far as anybody else, I thought I was 100% sold on the Revival coming to AEW, but now I'm not quite sure because from reports are that WWE has offered them something that was pretty much like it's going to be really hard for them to turn down. So we'll see how that goes. And then what I would really like, what I think AEW absolutely needs is we need Tessa Blanchard for the women's division.
Yep.
But I don't know. With her dad being there, I think it's a good chance, but you never know what WWE is going to offer her, or if she's happy to stay in Impact.
Right. No, that's another good point.
Yeah, but to answer the question, I think we'll see Brody Lee, Matt Hardy, maybe the Revival. I hope. I'm not quite sure, and maybe Tessa Blanchard, and honestly, I would love to see Tenelle Dashwood as well.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah, I think she'd be a great addition to the women's division.
I want some Thunder Rosa too.
Thunder Rosa would be great as well.
Yeah, a lot of great women that are outside of AEW that, they could do some awesome things over there. All right, fellas. Well, we're about to close it up. Let's hear it. Any plugs that we'll start with you, Kyle. Any plugs that you want to throw out there, or anything that you want to get off your chest?
As we say throughout the show, if you're on Facebook, join the Facebook group. It's AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion on Facebook. Just join the group and just simply answer the questions. It's just if you're gonna listen, if you're gonna abide by our rules, just say yes, and you'll be granted access in. It's a great group. Join the Discord. It's discord.gg/AEW. I'm one of the admins. And speaking of that, next week, my friend and the one who created the AEW Discord and is an admin with me, along with being Luchasaurus' girlfriend, my friend Summer is going to join us for next week's show as well.
Very cool.
And then also listen to Brian's podcast, Marked Out. It's freaking great.
It's very great.
I turned it on the other night and just and fell asleep listening to episodes. I'm not saying I fell asleep because it was boring. I'm saying I just turned it on and
right. Well, I'm sure you had some nightmares that night after listening to us while dozing off. But either way, thank you guys, and please go hit that join button. AEW All Elite Wrestling Discussion Facebook group. Gentlemen, thank you. And before we go, MJ, anything else that you want to plug or?
Jay White, if you're listening, come on, man. I guess the only thing I really have is that Dynamite was really good this week.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. No, there's no takeaways from the product. Very great.
I got one more thing.
Yeah.
I understand people's criticism. I understand people's criticism with certain segments. We just got to give it time. It's going to be a slow build. It takes them a while, but you just absolutely trust Kenny and looking in the women's division. They'll get to it. I'm sure it's going to be good.
All right, well,
support Jay White.
Yeah, support Jay White. Support fucking us. All right, gentlemen. Well, this was fun. Thank you, and until next week. Well, you know what? We got to work on a sign off because this happened last time too. But don't worry, we'll get something in the next week. You know what? Just like Moxley's decision. Just like fucking Cody accepting MJF stipulations, these things take time, people. All right, so next week we'll have an amazing send off. I guess I don't fucking know. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and tune in next week.